Wait for it.
This week's Faith at Home theme is all about patience.
Patience is a word that parents know only too well, even if it's because we always feel like we're losing it.
Patience is a word that children know all too well, maybe because they're told that they need it.
So how might we encourage faith at home that nurtures patience?
And what does a spirituality to sustain patience really look like?
Here's what some of the young people we've been working with this week think about patience.
Being patient is to wait.
Being calm and waiting for your turn.
Let your friends go first. Patience means, like, if you want to go somewhere but someone needs to take you and they tell you to wait and you wait, then you are patient.
I find it easy to be patient because I like waiting for my turn in the line.
I find it hard to be patient because when someone annoys me, I need to remember to be calm and relaxed.
I find it easy to be patient because I know if I keep trying I can achieve anything. Patient people will go far in life. I've learnt to be patient when I go to the doctors because there's been a lot of people waiting.
I have a big family, so I do have to share a lot of things. My brother always finds a way to take my charger and I can't do anything about it, so that's annoying as well.
Waiting for my younger siblings to kind of go to bed sometimes, even if they have extra staying up time, could be slightly irritating.
Patience means I have to wait until all of this is over to see my friends.
When it comes to thinking about God, we tend to imagine patience as sitting in silent stillness, waiting for God to show up.
But stillness doesn't come naturally to most people. So what if waiting with God was an active experience?
We've got some insights from Caroline Edwards, the Youth and Children's Advisor in the Diocese of York, sharing her experiences with spirituality being expressed in activity.
One of the hardest things about being a parent and being a child is being patient. Waiting for something that we really want to happen, or getting frustrated because things aren't working out in quite the way that we wanted. It's very tempting to think that spirituality is all about stillness and silence, but for many of our children that just simply isn't the case. They encounter God and they express their friendship with Him through their bodies, through their hearts and their minds and the things that they touch and they sense. And so as we're encouraging them to pray and reflect and talk about their friendship with God, then let's encourage them to do it through their bodies. They can pray while they fidget, even if it drives us a little bit mad. And so if our teenage son wants to drum out a rhythm to our family prayers with a couple of pencils on the table, that's okay. And if we run and shout in the wind our praises to God, that's okay too. God knows about waiting. There's a lot written in the Bible about His heart and company with us as we wait. Advent and Lent are times in the church calendar where we wait. So perhaps another way of helping our children to be patient is to mark these days and to give them opportunities just to note the waiting that they have done so patiently.
Action then is key for some people to engage with God's presence.
Along with word, emotion and symbol, it is one of the 4 spiritual styles that undergirds the whole church worship and prayer resources from Roots.
Roots is an ecumenical partnership whose aim is to equip churches with ways to enrich people's encounter with God, worshipping and learning together.
Here's Rosemary Nixon from Roots to tell us a little more.
Spiritual styles were identified and defined by Dave Sinos, a Canadian theologian and practitioner. The 4 styles describe the different ways people experience God, build relationships with each other, and make sense of the world. Firstly, there's a word-centred approach to spirituality. Spoken and written words are central, so preaching, analysis and argument are important. People with a strong word preference know God when they know about God. Next, there's emotion-centred spirituality. God is experienced through connecting with our emotions and inner feelings, perhaps evoked through music, dance and drama. We think of Jesus in relational terms, as a friend. Symbol-centred spirituality values abstract symbols, imagery and metaphors. God is sensed through the natural world and works of art. Silence and solitude are important. Then there's action-centred spirituality, a thirst for justice that drives people to bring about transformation for good. God is seen in the cry of the poor, and we must take action to make a difference. Everyone has their own mix of styles. They're not labels to pin people down, but a way of understanding the diversity within a congregation or group. So how does this help plan worship for all ages? It means that we can include sufficient variety for everyone to have a chance to encounter God. Different elements aren't exclusive to one style, so if somebody wants to work with craft materials on their own, rather than chatting while they do it, then you're helping those with a symbol preference and emotion preference. Introduce a reading with some background information for people with a strong word preference, and build in times of stillness and silence. Give a chance for action-centred people to raise awareness of issues. When you're preparing, think all styles rather than all ages. You can read more about spiritual styles in 2 free articles from a series published by Roots. And every week in the Roots resources, the ideas are labelled so that you can see which preferences will be met in which activities, and devise worship to engage everyone.
The week-by-week Roots resources have a variety of activities, indicating which fit well with different spiritual styles.
So how does insight on spiritual styles relate to patience?
It's simply this: there isn't one way to nurture patience.
And not everyone will respond to the same activities.
It would be great if every idea hit everyone's needs.
Here's an idea we've heard from a church in Canterbury, in Kent.
Here's Phil, the vicar of the church, to tell us a little bit more about what this idea is.
Lectio Lego was something we devised with our youth group in 2018, and we've used ever since. We found using Lego and the Bible together a very natural thing to do. Using the basic concept of Lectio Divina, asking those 3 fundamental questions as you read the divine word: what is God saying to you? What jumps out at you at the passage? And what is God saying to the church? We found these 3 very simple questions worked very naturally with the Bible and Lego together. Hence, Lectio Lego, divine play. All ages were able to respond to these 3 questions at their own level. Children, young people and adults. Sometimes in church, sometimes at home. They would play together, read the Bible together, and they would discover so many things about each other, but also about God, going deeper into the Bible.
Lego Divina. It's a way to use our hands and a small pile of bricks to say what we think and feel about a Bible passage.
It's easy to do at home. You need a handful of bricks for each person and someone who'll read the passage out loud.
Here's a clip of Bea and Theo trying it out.
As this clip plays, think through who you think it might work for.
If you can't see it working for some people, what else might?
You might want to sneak into the toy box or resource cupboard yourself and ponder your own spiritual style.
Right, Theo, are you ready for building Lego?
Yeah, first we need to start with Moses.
You're right, because we're going to do the story of Moses going up Mount Sinai, aren't we?
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll read the story a couple of times and you just build what comes into your head. So when Moses went up the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the 7th day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. Then Moses entered the cloud as he went up the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights.
I'm spending time focusing on Moses.
I'm just building the mountain at the moment. Whoa, nice one, Moses.
Cloud. How will we make the cloud?
Have you got anything you want to share about your model yet? Or are you still building?
My model is Moses.
Whoops.
He's standing there, and because it's been so long, he's going a lot on the clock. It represents the time he waits. He's got a beard because he probably did.
What do you think, if you had to describe that, waiting and waiting and waiting, what would you describe that as being something?
Patience.
Yeah, I think it would be being patient. A lot of patience he had in all that waiting. Do you want me to tell you about mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave him a map because I think God's been leading him, and I also put the flames because these are the Israelites at the bottom of the mountain and they see something different to Moses, don't they? And sometimes as a Christian we might see things in a different way, but it's no less important that he's seeing God as a flame. That's just as important.
Yeah, God is a cloud, God is a flame, God is an animal flame, God is a shepherd, God is a gate, God is a hedge, God is everything,
Yeah.
God is your heart.
It's a lot on your heart. And I was thinking about him being very patient as well. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Puppy
Theo.
love.
Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Bye.